Okay. Hi, Alison. How are you?
Hello, fine and you?
Good. So it's so nice. So we actually have very, very similar names. So we are both from France. We
Yes,
are both called Alison, and your last name is Aigrin, and my last name is Grun. So it's a lot of
yes,
common points, right?
yes, right. It's very surprenant,
Surprising.
surprising, yes.
Yes, indeed.
But it's cool, it's cool. Alison are the best girl in the world.
Yeah. and very how do we say sorry, I forgot the name. It will come back. Anyway, so just to introduce the people who are watching, to introduce Alison. So as I said, she's from France, like me. And when she has something in her head, she doesn't have it elsewhere. As soon as she experienced riding as a passenger, she was at the time 15 years old. She decided to take her license and become a racer. So a dream only came true in 2015 when she could afford both the license and the motorbike. And after taking part in a racing workshop, she couldn't turn back. So since
Yeah.
2019, she has been racing, but also encouraging other women to do so. In particular, in August 2019, she organized an event at the Circuit Carole, a race track in France, where 120 women turned up over 2 days to experience track racing with professionals. She's also a very well-known blogger in France. She has a blog called Talons et Guidon, which means
Yes.
high heels and handlebar. When she shares her experiences and shows women that we can ride bikes and still be feminine. So, Alison, thanks so much for taking the time and connecting with me and other lady riders today. So, I'd like to ask you a first question. So, obviously, you're an adrenaline junkie. And for you, motorcycling has always been about cornering and speeding, but I'm sure you must have frightened yourself quite a few times as well. So, can you share with us a particular experience where you really freaked yourself out?
Oh yes, of course. I have lot of moments about this because when I beginning a motorcycle, it was just on the street, so it was very prudent. You know, I was very exciting about the race, and when I begin the race, not the street, it was very different because there are a lot of vitesse, it's speed. Je t'entends plus.
Oh, you need to speed.
Okay. Yes. The first year, it was very slowly, you know. I learned the race, so it was not difficult. But the second year, when I buy my race motorcycle, because the first year it was with my first bike, so street bike. But the second year, I buy a sportive, so GSX-R. It was my first race bike. It was different because a lot of speed and more impressionant. And I take, I do
More frightening, more powerful, and more impressive, right?
more powerful. Yes, of course. And I do my first. I fall. It was not very. I'm not scared about this because it was slowly. But the last year, I broke my knee. I had to spend a few weeks in my sofa and see a chirurgien, a surgeon. It was difficult for me because I'm not good. Very, j'avais mal.
You were hurt.
Yes,
Yeah, you had a lot
and
of. So basically, the first year, that's often what happens, right? The first year, you're quite safe and not many
yes,
accidents. And then as you build confidence and you go faster, you're at ease, that's where you freak yourself out and then have an accident, right?
yes. No, the accident was the last year. not the second year.
Just
But it was when I beginning a competition, because in my head it was very different. Not just learn and take my bike and go to the race. No, it was different. I go to the race for to be the first yes, the fastest girl, you know. So it was different in my head, and I do lot of track day for my training and for the competition, and I do this lot of week, one day by a week. So very lot of training. And the last competition was the last training of the day because I broke my knee, and it was the end of the year for me last year. And when I beginning this year, one year after my accident, it was I'm scared, you know. Maybe it's not possible to do the same chrono.
the same performance.
Yes, the same performance. But when you go in your bike, the first day, it was not the same because I just go on my bike and I remember the trajectoire. And after the bath, yes, and after the second days was the same for me because it's like a bike, but a bike, a vélo.
Like a bicycle.
You can
you don't lose
yes.
it. You don't lose it. It comes back.
Yes.
Fair enough. So also you have quite an atypical path because as you mentioned, you took up motorcycling only 5 years ago in a way, but you are already racing. Plus, you also grew up with your mom and you were never particularly exposed to motorcycles except
Yes.
when you were 15 as a passenger. So I'm wondering, like, have you faced any specific challenges in being accepted in the racing community? And if you faced any challenges, then how did you overcome them?
Yes, it was difficult for me at the beginning because I'm a woman, and I do a blog, you know. And when you have a blog, for a lot of people, it's like you have a magazine. Similarly, journalists, and I'm not this because I don't know all in the motorcycle world. So a lot of people say to me, you are not, comment on dit,
an expert or
non, credible.
Yeah, you're not credible. Yeah.
You are not credible because you don't know the motorcycle. You're just beginning the last year. Okay, so I'm not in this world when I was young, but this is for that I have do a blog because when I beginning, I have a lot of questions and I say, this is possible or not? And maybe, and a lot of women say, I can't ask because a lot of people rigolent de moi. And this is not possible for me. For example, I take my license and after I beginning the race because I don't know this is possible to do race without license. And when I know this, I say, si j'avais su, if I know in the past, I began maybe at 12, not at 22. So
okay, I understand. So basically, when you started racing, you realized that to race on a circuit, you didn't need to have a riding license, a motorcycle riding license. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's just a paper. If you want to do race without license, is it possible? But you do in France. It's CASM, ASM.
Yeah, it's a special license to do racing.
Special license. You do this just one day, and it's not more expensive. It's 50 euros. One day, you do a learning with a teacher about all in a track. You know, the flag, the red light when you do stop. This is just a formality about competition and training on a track day, and this is possible after this when you have your questions and it's good, like the code de la route for the car. If you have this paper after,
then
you can take a race. Yes.
Okay.
And it was this is an example, but it was not just the only question when I begin. And I want to share my questions with the community, with women. And 5 years ago, I began my blog to share many questions with other girls and other people, other bikers. And I'm not journalist because I don't give you the informations. I give you a lot of subjects, lot of questions. If I have the response, is it okay? I do an article about this. But if I don't have the question, I just share the question for all the community, and we share about this. And is it possible for a girl or for maybe a boy to do an article for me on my blog, because it's open?
Okay, fair enough. So, well, if I sum up, your biggest challenge was not only being a woman, but also not having the credibility and the experience in the cycle, and entering a community that is usually very expert men who have been racing for years or who have been riding for years. And the way that you overcame those was basically by opening it up to other community members and showing that it was kind of a motivation to say, I guess, I mean, also from what I know from you, that was a kind of motivation to say, hey, it's not because you're not an expert or you were not born in the motorcycle industry that you cannot learn and enjoy it and we can support each other and learn from each other. So you basically made racing more accessible to other people and other women in particular. And because that's the challenge that you overcame yourself, right?
This is my first challenge, to be accessible with people who are not born in this world and who discovered this world 2 years ago. Because like me, they go passenger with a boyfriend or just a friend, and they say, oh, it's very incredible. I want to take my knee on the floor like me when I have 16. And this is my first challenge.
Fair enough. And so speaking of that, and speaking of encouraging other women to take up motorcycling and motorcycle racing even, so you did quite an interesting event. So basically, for those who don't know, and in France, it's not that, it's pretty common to have motorcycle riders who are women. Like there are lots of motorcycle clubs which are quite mixed. And from my experience, so I left France 5 years ago, but from my experience, women didn't particularly feel the need to ride together, to have women clubs or women groups. You know, it was not a thing, at least when I was in France. So I was wondering what motivated you in particular to organize this event for women at the Circuit Carole. And what has been your biggest success through this event?
I'm not sure this is the feel the need to ride together, but I I think it's they are scared about this because when they are without a boyfriend or just with a boy, they think if I broke my bike, if I have a problem on my bike, I don't know how to do the mechanic. This is a very important subject. Like me, when I go on a race, I don't for a competition. I don't go on a track day without a boy, without people who do mechanic, This is for me the principal, the reason the girl needed to ride with a boy and not just with girls. In the street, for me, it's different. There are lots of group on Facebook, on social media, just for girls, and it's possible to do a ride just with girls. But on the race world, this is very different for the moment. But this is possible. It was not it was not like this for me for the 4 first years on the race, but this year I go just with a friend girl on the Dijon Prenois race, just with my friend, and we go with my bag under the truck and go on the truck, and two girls like this. Okay. It was difficult, but this is possible, and I have my tools. I have my tools, and it was very good. I don't have a problem. I don't broke my bike, so it was very perfect. And
There's no woman mechanics like on the circuit and so on. Like, are there any women?
Yes, I know two girls like this. This is possible. I remember a girl who go with her boyfriend and change the wheel for his boyfriend, on a competition. And I look the girl and I say, oh, it's very impressionnant. Just not c'était pas la jante, c'était le pneu sur la jante qu'elle changeait. C'était plus dur encore. Je sais pas comment dire en anglais.
You're changing the tire, the proper tire on the outside. So that was even more impressive for you to see that woman doing that. Oh, cool. So what was the outcome of that event? So you organized that event and a lot of women turned up, right? So they were like existing women riders, but they wanted to test racing on a circuit, right? And so what's your biggest success from this event?
It was the last August, not this August, but the last, with the FFM, the French Federation Motorcycle, and the Circuit Carole, track Carole, with, it was 2 mornings, Saturday and Sunday, and Saturday there are about 60 girls, and the Sunday 80. And it was the first time for a lot of women. Some women was not. It was not the first time, but just a lot of girls on the track. It was raining, so it was very difficult for the girl who was the first time, because the rain. This is not the must condition. The
condition, yeah, for first.
Yes, but it was very cool. My sponsor. My partnership come to the event with a lot of goodies. So the girl, when they go for the first time, they leave the track with a bag and with a lot of goodies. It was very cool with Shark, Daffy, Pirelli, and Racer gloves. And I organized lottery.
Lucky draw.
Okay, for an association and j'ai remporté, enfin j'ai gagné. I win.
You raise some funds, t'as fait de l'argent en fait.
Non, ouais, voilà, j'ai récolté des fonds pour l'association.
Okay, so you raise money for that association. How much?
Yes, 500.
500 what?
500 euros.
Ah, 500 euros, okay. And what
Yes, for this. Ah, ça a coupé, j'ai pas entendu.
What was the association?
It was Gueule d'Ange. It's a dog association for all dog in France who are bad, but this is not the dog who is bad, is the people.
Ah, okay, so abandoned dogs?
Yes, and c'est des anciens chiens de combat, des chiens dits méchants qui ont été mis au combat
okay,
et qui sont
former fighting dogs, like street dogs.
Street dogs and who very hurt, and this is not cool. Yes,
Nice.
because it's I'm a Brigitte Bardot, you know.
So you're an animal lover and activist.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Animal and the earth, you know.
So for you, from that event, that was your biggest success. C'était ton plus gros succès, quoi, de pouvoir to be able to raise some funds for this organization as well.
Yes, and to see all girls on this track and say to me, "Oh, thank you, Alison, thank you for this," because it was free. It was free.
Yeah, that's the thing. And also, what you told me is that after that event, all the women got this pass so that they could come again was it for 1 year? Or
no, just for this year. So August, September, October, November, December. For the rest of the year.
So for the rest of the year, they could come back to train on the circuit for free.
For free.
Okay, so that's again, I mean, if we have people listening from Malaysia in particular, so we have the Sepang circuit in Malaysia. We have a few races.
Yes, I know.
So, you know, like hiring the track or like just riding 10 minutes on the track is like really expensive. So, I mean, Malaysians will understand that, but for other people, so that's quite a huge success because that's really like giving access and opening opportunities and, you know, kind of being a bit more inclusive to get women to try out and to have fun. So I think that was pretty cool as an outcome as well.
Yes, it was very cool for all the women who are here, and this is not just for one session, just for 10 minutes. It was for all the afternoon because on the Circuit Carole the track, it's not the day because the day is for Moto Club. But it's open just for Circuit Carole the Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the afternoon.
Okay.
So it was for 4 days the afternoon. But it's really cool because for the year, the pass is 800 euros.
Wow. Yeah, so basically, they saved a lot of money by coming to this event.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Well done on the sponsorship part. Like, I could learn from you on that, you know. Sponsorships from brands, you know.
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah, well done for that. That's I really wish I could have taken part. That sounds really cool. So yeah, later I might, if you have some any pictures or videos of this thing, feel free.
Yes.
Because I'm sure it was highly promoted, and that would be nice to share as well.
Yes.
You are also a travel passionate. You love traveling, and you dream of moving to Latin America sometime in a few years. But strangely enough, you have not taken many motorcycle tours. So basically, you took up motorcycling 5 years ago, and you went straight into racing. And then you love traveling, but strangely enough, you don't do it particularly much on motorcycle. So we were discussing about that the other day, and so I was wondering, if tomorrow I take you and I tell you, okay, let's go on a tour, what would be this what would this adventure motorcycle tour look like for you? Your ideal motorcycle adventure tour?
Yes, it's very strange because I do a lot of motorcycle and I don't move in vacation with my bike or with a bike. I think it's because I already do so much motorbike that I take a car vacation. But I dream of taking motorcycle trips, of course. But maybe it's just I must to learn, enduro when you go
off-road, like yeah.
Yes, off-road, because I do a lot of motorcycle, but on a track, round and asphalt, streets, asphalt too. But I never do, just one time I have tried off-road, but it was really cool. Maybe I'm a little scared about this. And I want to do a stage learning in France with enduro off-road bike and pratique.
Avant, you also do motorcycle adventure tour, which are not off-road. Because again, off-road is a little bit broad, right? So there's like proper off-road track. Like if I take the example of Nepal or India, we go in the mountains and but even if you learn off-road, honestly, I'm not sure you can do it much better because I never did off-road before.
Okay.
And those areas are just so crazy that, of course, if you know how to ride off-road, maybe you learn a bit more the techniques, but those are such extreme conditions that, in the end, you learn on the spot, I would say. Mm-hmm. But you also do adventure trips like, in Myanmar or Malaysia or other countries where I call it adventure because you go off the beaten path and you go a little bit off the main road, but it doesn't mean that it's totally off-road in the mountains or jungle. You know what I mean?
Okay, yes, I understand. Maybe for me, I'm scared of going into something that's too hard for me, but I'm used to falling, so it should be fine to do.
Exactly, it's interesting to have somebody like you who took up motorcycle track racing. You said, "Oh, I'm a little bit worried, falling or hurting myself, But
this is paradoxal because I do a lot of track day and fastest and more fastest and fastest. And when I look the tour, the off-road tour, I say, oh, maybe it's too hard for me, but it's just because it's very different. And about this, I have tried the stunts. This is acrobat the stunts 2 weeks ago, and it was l'inverse. The position was not like on the race. On the race, you go at the right, you do this,
Yes.
And at the stunt, this is this, like off-road.
Exactly.
For me,
counter steering, yeah.
Yes. Comme on dit, aller contre mes habitudes.
Against your habits. It's going against your automatism, against your habits.
Yes.
Because it's counter steering, so it's a different position. Yeah, completely. Like it's the same for me. I was right. So you ride your Harley, you're like this, and then I had to do motocross where I had my feet like the arms like that, So yeah, it's complete change of position.
Yeah. Sure. And the bike is different because I have 3 bikes, but this is maybe the same because I have a vintage bike, but a cafe racer. So I'm like this. This is the same for my CBR because it's a sportive. I'm like this. And I have my street bike with Hornets. it's a roadster, so this is not very different like the calf racer and the sportive. But
motorcycles, lucky you. I have only two.
yeah,
One is in France, so you know,
but
basically I only have one.
you have a Harley.
Yeah, two Harleys.
So this is more expensive, like my 3 bikes, you know. So, so this is different.
Yeah, probably. But I'd love to buy a Royal Enfield and a Triumph as well, and also cross bike. So like, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I wanted to ask you about those bikes. No, yeah, I wanted to know, do you have any car?
Yes, I have a Mini Cooper.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. I don't have
a red car, red Mini Cooper with the English flag. English flag.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't have any car. I've never had any car.
Okay.
Yeah, I can totally imagine you in a Cooper. So just to get back on this road trip. So what would the ideal road trip look like for you?
A road trip with friends is very important. No, not only because I want to share this with friends. So this is my first reason to. Well, yes. After a road trip with mountain, with for visit, not just for go take my bike and go. This is important for me, like my trip in general, with car, with bike, to visit, to have a lot of very good view. And I want to share many nights with typical people in the country. Okay. Not just in a hotel and yes, meet the population. It's important for me.
Great. So you can come on my trips next year.
Yes, yes. I think about this. Really, it was cool. It was in my notes, in my book. It's in my book.
Great. So, okay, so last question for you, so that we don't bore people too much, because like we could talk for ages, I think. What are your top 3 or 2-3 goals for 2021?
In the first, not fall, not break anything on my body.
Okay. So first, stay alive. Stay alive.
Stay alive. Yes, stay alive. Because the last year was very difficult for me, a lot of break, and for race for me the last year, but I do just 3 because I fell before. So stay alive, finish my race. This is the first goal. After to take my first mix championship with boy and with girl, not just only with girl, and to do this championship and my first race. I think it's just one race of the Women's Cup Championship, just because the first it's at Le Mans, Circuit Bugatti, and it's before the 24 hours race, les 24 heures du Mans. It's just before. So the condition is very good with all the pilots and the public, a lot of people, the media, the TV. It's a famous race, and so the next year I take one championship, global championship, all the race, Promo Sport, the Pirelli. It's a Pirelli championship, the Promo Sport, Promo Découverte, for the beginner, and one race of the Women's Cup Championship. So maybe 8 or 9 races in the year.
Cool, that's a lot.
Yes, a lot. Yes.
9 races next year. When will you find time to travel?
I don't know. Maybe the winter.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know
In Europe, you can travel elsewhere in Asia or elsewhere where it's summer, right?
This is my life in general because I'm going in Costa Rica in January this year.
Yeah.
So the winter it's possible, but the winter I love the snowboard too and go to snowboarding in France. So.
Hard life choices to make.
Yes, lot of a very big program, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're gonna stop here, Alison. Thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you as usual, and I'm looking forward to listening to that interview because with both our French accents, I think.
I'm sorry for my English and my accent. Sorry.
No, but I'm laughing because, you know, when I'm speaking and people tell me I have a French accent, I don't really recognize it. But when I listen to you, I'm like, what the heck? Like, this French accent is so strong, you know? But yeah, you only hear it when you hear it from others, and I think I'm really not better. But thanks so much for making the time anyway. It was great chatting with you as usual, despite the busy schedule. And yeah, let's chat again soon anyway. Yeah, and I hope to see you on this side of the world next year for a nice road trip with me, or maybe in France if I manage to go back to France at some point. Right now, if I'm in France, I cannot come back to Malaysia. So yeah, but hopefully I'll come back to France at some point next year. I need to see my family too. So
yes, I understand. Okay. And if I go in France, we go to drink a cocktail.
Yeah, of course, wine, red wine.
Yes.
I mean, it's not there's wine in Malaysia, but it's just that wine is really expensive here. So having a good, accessible red wine,
yes,
in general,
and the bread.
No?
And the bread.
And the bread, oh no, the bread is not great either. Like now, I've been living here for 5 years, so now I know a few bakeries and I knew a few places where you can get excellent bread, but it's more like, you know, if you organize a dinner, or it's more like, you know, it's, I wouldn't say luxury good, but nearly, you know, it's not like you go buy your baguette or, you know.
Okay.
You know, so.
I understand.
Anyway,
so if you go, when you come back in France, I prepare for you red wine, cheese, and bread, and I don't know, saucisson.
Well, sausage, I'm not that into sausages. You can prepare an extra bite for me.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So thank you, Alison.
Have a great weekend ahead. See you.
Thank you. Bye.